Will convene public meeting 1:39 p.m. just a little behind schedule. Yeah, today we had our special meeting with interviews, and then they also faced additional rounds from a community panel and a staff panel, and we're also each individually taking on tours of some of our PUD facilities. And now that that's all said and done with, and our applicants have left the building, we are going to move into another executive session in order to discuss what we found today. However, before we do that, first, I would like to motion to amend the agenda. And basically, you know, where is it? I should have a copy in front of me here.
So
where
yeah,
it said,
so the notice will have something, potential action coming out of executive session, consideration of next steps, and I think that my recommendation is that.
yeah,
Right.
that, yeah, should have checked on my wording before, but basically, I don't think, personally, at least I'm not ready to make a decision here today. And so, rather than set the expectation for anyone who might be watching and waiting for us to come out of executive session and then come and make a decision, I'd like us just to decide now that we're not making a decision today. We're going to discuss it. We're probably going to need a little bit more time to think it over. And then the next question would be when we make that decision. But I guess first, I will make the motion to strike the discussion from our agenda post-executive session, and that's my motion.
I'll second that. No action taken after executive session.
Yeah, there'll be no action taken after executive session.
Okay, yeah, no problem with
Then call for the question.
All those.
Sorry, did you second? You second.
I second.
Okay, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, so our agenda has been simplified to be only an executive session, and so if anyone is listening in and hoping to hear something, there won't be any action taken today. Next question, which was so like we should just discuss here in the public meeting now, I think, is do we want to have that public discussion on Tuesday during our regular meeting? Or would we like to schedule it at a sooner time?
I need at least the weekend, I think, to look over the documents from the other boards or the other committees that we're looking at.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I would hold that decision until after the executive session, and then you guys will have a better feel
Sure.
for whether you wanna,
Yeah.
do something quicker, or, you really need the weekend.
That's true. Great. Yeah.
So let's do that then, Chair, does that make sense to, the only discussion we'll have in, when we go back into the public meeting is when our next meeting is.
Administrative discussion after
Yeah.
executive.
Would you want to make that as a second motion then?
Sure, I'll make a motion that when we come out of executive session, we'll discuss when our next meeting is to make where we'll deliberate on choosing the candidate.
Okay, and at that point, then we will let all concerned parties know when to expect that.
Yeah, so do we need a second for them?
I'll second.
Joseph, do you have a question for the commission?
Yes, just a clarifying point. Since you made a motion to strike any and all discussion after you come out of executive session, how does it work that you can have discussion?
Shoot.
The agenda's changed basically as a result of these two motions. If the second one passes, it won't be as reflected on the notice. It'll just be an administrative discussion about scheduling.
Yeah, so it wouldn't
So it'll be
be,
the discussion, but not the action. So the action is being stricken.
Okay. Thank you.
oh, yeah, okay.
So I think you gotta call the question.
You do.
I just realized I probably could have made this smoother.
Okay.
We're gonna think through with you.
So, but to call the question clarifying that the motion is to have discussion but no action.
Right,
following
okay, thank you.
executive session.
Yeah, I will do that. I'll amend my motion, just clarifying that we're gonna have discussion on when our subsequent meeting will be not an action. So. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Change?
Yeah,
And you had the second on that, so.
Yeah, so I'll second that. Revised motion, all in favor?
I,
Okay, so to clarify, yeah, we plan to discuss discuss scheduling and that's it.
You wanna go into executive session now?
yes.
Okay.
Well, I had a question about that, and that's that, the report out from the employee panel and the report out from the community panel, does that need to happen in the public meeting or?
No, because you're discussing qualifications of a potential public employee.
Okay, so that can all happen in executive.
Yeah.
I just want to confirm that. All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm fine now proceeding.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I was wondering before I do, if we do think it's like, is it? If we wanna do and make any just open, general statements before we do that, just
No,
cause I know we had so many folks come out here.
You
for-
gentlemen are killing me. Let's do it at the end.
Alright,
Well, I would like to thank everybody.
Sure, let's do
Yeah.
it at the end.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
alright, I just, no, cause then we might be, okay, keep people waiting. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
There's
We
nobody.
are going to now move into executive session if we can switch over in the Zoom.
We're gonna discuss our.
We are now returning from
Yeah.
executive session. We, so we, yeah, really, thorough discussion, really tough choice for us as a board, between two people who really have, have just been outstanding and how they presented. Really tough call, and so we're not making a decision today. Do we think, like, is it necessary to schedule a special meeting in order to try to speed things up, or is just, coming ready to decide on Tuesday would be.
I'll be ready to
good
decide
enough?
on Tuesday.
Yeah, the only reason to not do it on Tuesday is if doing it before Tuesday in a special meeting saves us 2 weeks. But I don't think that's the case, is it right?
No,
Okay,
And commissioners, we already have an executive session on the agenda for Tuesday for other purposes, so we can just add this purpose. That way, if you need a few minutes while you're already in executive session, before you come out and
That's a
take
great idea.
action, you can do that.
that's a great idea.
I think we're gonna have three, if this is added, this would be the third executive session item.
That's correct.
That
One
is
of
correct.
which.
is it gonna be a 6-hour meeting?
One of which is gonna occur at 9:30.
Oh,
Yes.
So
because
talk
it's
fast for the rest of the stuff.
Education.
Yeah, I would just urge the commission to power through all of the regular business in an hour.
And keep in mind, you have a 30-minute presentation on the agenda.
I'm not sure. Well, Joseph has
Preparation.
his hand up, so let's.
I was just gonna, say, because in the background, I've been working on your agenda. So for that executive session, as Peter was saying, we would start at 9:30, probably with your, final discussion on, the issues of today, and then, it'll start with the adjudication, then this, and then there's one other piece in that executive session, and then, the rest of the agenda items, and I will have that packet for you guys tomorrow.
Would it help if we started at
Thank you,
8
Joseph.
on Tuesday?
Excuse me.
Would it help if we started at 8 on Tuesday, just to get a little bit extra time to get to meet the 9:30?
I don't mind,
don't
I don't mind starting early. I mean,
I
we
don't
did
mind
it,
starting
we
early.
did it today.
Yeah, one of the best is get on a bike. and
Yeah,
ride.
you're the one who's gotta.
Yeah, I'm willing to do it. I'm doing it for you guys.
Thank you.
I don't wanna be rushed on Tuesday, though, if we really think like we're gonna have to rush through, like, I mean, because do we have do you need to be out of there by 11 or is that?
Yeah,
So what's the,
11:30, I think 11:30.
what's the
actually, on
operations
Tuesday.
presentation? Is this something that's urgent that can we put up?
This is the 90%, right?
Yeah. We're gonna walk through, where we are with
Right.
90% plans for, plant one.
What do you think, Chris? Is that something, I mean, you know, I care about that. I'm just saying, could that be put off to the next meeting?
Well, we have to give feedback to the contractors before our first meeting in April.
Okay,
So, I mean, we can present it to you in the first meeting in April, but it'd be,
too, and then I complain about that.
the input would already be given.
What are we worried about rushing through though?
Yeah, I guess there's a presentation, but are we expecting, yeah, we should know by now, right? Are there action items? Are there
Yeah,
significant
and the
action?
executive
It's
session,
really limited, in the executive session, we're not requesting any action items, other than anything you guys want to talk about. But
yeah,
the presentation on the 90% is to inform, not to request any action. Now, you may have comments and, all that kind of stuff.
for sure.
So we have committed it to going into executive session
To
At
me,
9:30.
at 9:30, so an hour and
Yeah.
15, okay, due to legal staff.
Yeah, that's Mount Well, so they will.
Yeah. Okay, I think, yeah, it sounds like 90 minutes to get through the entire agenda is totally doable.
We start at 8.
If we start at 8.
Yeah,
And
That's what I was suggesting.
yeah, so let's say we start at 8, we'll go into executive session at 9:30. How do we, it probably won't take us too long, because after all the time we spent today, right? To then come to a decision. by then.
Yeah.
And then we'll come out and make an announcement.
change somebody's life, baby.
But in the meantime, yeah, it's gonna have to.
Baby.
What is wrong with you? You're tired.
I think
We all are.
we can just make that standard communication, so you're not out of line.
Yeah, I do. I hate to keep Vanessa and Tony waiting all weekend
yeah.
to know, but I mean, it's,
There's some procedure reasons we couldn't do it today too, but you know,
yeah.
bottom line is
It's,
that it's
but I
good.
think it's better to take our time and be sure, because yeah, but I think share as far as like what we come out of what we heard today, like we all agree that they would both be excellent, and that's what makes it so tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess just while we're here, just wanted to extend appreciation to, the staff today that participated in the interview panel, and the members of the community and customers who came out as well, and really, yeah, and the input very valuable, just really appreciate everyone, and take due consideration in what we heard. And also to Lainey for coming all the way out here, braving I-5.
My pleasure.
And
And the airport.
I'm glad it worked. It wasn't fun for a period, but it's been great today.
but moreover, just for your just doing a great job bringing us two great candidates, and really just very successful in recruitment, absolutely all around. So we're
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Where we are.
My pleasure.
any further comments?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, we're all exhausted. It is 4
Don't
o'clock
make me say
sharp,
baby one more time.
and we are adjourned.